Good day, ladies and gentlemen, but our special guest today, Nellie Mashaba. Ma'am, thank you so much for joining us for this. I'm looking forward to this interesting interview. We are dealing here with women in mining, a topic that's not strange at all in your world. I've read some of your research as well as the things that you have found through the times. And yes, would you please mind to tell us a bit for an introduction, a bit about yourself and your interest in this topic?
All right, thank you for affording me the opportunity to be part of this interview. My name is Nellie Mashaba. I work as a research officer at the Mining Qualifications Authority. Amongst some of my responsibilities is I'm responsible for developing the sector skills plan and driving the organization's research agenda. I have a strong passion for women in mining, conducting research for women in mining, more particularly because of what I've observed in the industry working here, what I've read, as well as past experiences. So it's basically a topic that I hold dear to my heart.
Thank you so much. From there, we can clearly hear that you have a passion for this and that you're living this. So how did it happen that you landed up with the Mining Qualifications Authority?
It's actually funny how I landed up at the MKA, and also interesting. I would say that it was a case of the universe aligning itself, and I would say that I'm a testament of dreams do come true. Because when I was doing my honors in 2013, I did research investigating the underrepresentation of women in STEM positions. 2 years later, I was accorded an opportunity to be part of a panel of researchers that developed a social labor plan for one of the biggest mines in Mpumalanga. And part of consolidating that social labor plan, we had to conduct research around the communities to establish the challenges that were experienced at that time. And one of the findings was the underrepresentation of women in mining. And to me, it was interesting. I was like, oh, wow, this could be something that I can focus on later on, should I decide to further my studies, not knowing that I will end up in an organization that will provide me with a platform where I would then research women in mining. So that's basically how I ended up with the MKA.
Well, what a privilege to have here Nellie Mashaba in a dream job, a dream come true. Is that you would never have a day of work. It's just living the dream, and that's wonderful. Now, Nellie, this topic on women in mining, how well, according to your experience, is that known not only in South Africa but also in Africa?
As you had said previously, Professor, that the topic of women in mining is not a strange topic. Researchers have long been researching women in mining, but it should be noted that it's not a topic that's extensively researched, more particularly in South Africa and Africa in general. There are very few researchers that specialize in this field, some being Dr. Asanda Benya, whose research focuses on the occupational culture and gender identities of women in mining, as well as the experiences. We also have Professor Dorette Botha, who has conducted quite a variety of research, focusing on transformation and equality, the integration of women into a male-dominated labor force, factors such as sexual harassment, yeah, etc. And then you also get your seasoned researchers who would have conducted research for the purpose of obtaining a qualification in the form of a master's or a PhD. And then you also get organizations like the one that I work for, the NQA, who would then conduct research on an ad hoc basis. The Minerals Council South Africa also conducts research on women in mining, as well as the Council for Gender Equality. But it should be noted that as far as specialization is concerned, there's still a gap in getting as much people who will conduct research extensively in this topic.
Yes, very insightful. When one think about mining, especially mining South Africa, male-dominated indeed. That's the perception. And then, in your experience, what would you say are the main challenges for women that are employed in this sector?
The main challenges, so before I mention them, so the challenges that I will identify are challenges that have been previously identified, which also indicates it's a cause for concern, because I mean, if they've been previously identified, it means that we should have some progression towards addressing them or alleviating them. So part of them are challenges related to work-life balance. It is known that the majority of mines are located in remote locations, meaning that women have to sacrifice time off their families to be located in those remote locations. And then there's also an issue of unfriendly working schedules. At times they're requested to work night shifts or overtime work, which then also affects work-life balance. There's an issue, while the major issue is that of gender stereotypes and workplace culture. There's a perception that men make better miners and women lack the strength and capacity to perform mining jobs. So as a result of this perception, this then perpetuates the exclusion and alienation of women. And by so doing, it also affects their entry into the industry. Another challenge that I can think of is that of hazardous working conditions. While mining in general is hazardous not just to women, but everyone. But as far as women are concerned, they are expected to go through the same employment rigorous employment test as men, knowing very well that anatomically and physiologically, women are not built the same as men. So already that puts them at a disadvantage. And previously there have been cases of mines that still don't offer suitable PPEs. They don't have adequate ablution facilities. That's a cause for concern as well. Another issue that I can think of that has also been researched, and it's a sensitive topic. People are aware of it, but they don't want to talk about it, is that of sexual harassment. And the harassment takes place in the form of physical conduct, can be verbal, it can be in the form of sexual favoritism, where women are requested to exchange sexual favors in return for employment or benefit opportunities. And there have been cases where women were raped underground. Very few of them report those cases. And one incident where a woman was murdered as a result of sexual harassment. So those are just some of the challenges that are experienced in mining, and they are not new. They've been happening for years, and it just shows that the mining industry has to put concerted efforts in addressing those challenges.
It's a difficult environment in general, mining, but for women specifically, I can just, you mentioned such a number of real serious challenges. In your experience, what would the things be, or the factors that attract women and retain them for the industry?
What would attract women is, for someone who's sitting on the outside and they hear about the challenges that women experience in mining. They want to be given the confidence and comfort that when I come to the industry, when I enter the industry, I will, the challenges that I constantly hear about will be addressed. So they want to work in a conducive work environment, an environment that is free of gender discrimination, where they will get support from management, an environment where they will be provided with suitable PPEs, where they will be provided with opportunities for adequate work-life balance. But in addition to that, they also want to be provided with attractive compensation packages and work benefits. It goes without saying that we live in a society where we have to pay bills, and the mining industry is known to be one of the industries that that has high paying. They pay their employees well, so they want to have that security as well. But most importantly as well is the provision of career development. They don't just want to enter the industry, but they want to be given an assurance that as soon as I enter it, my organization will provide me with platforms or opportunities where I can develop myself so that I can move into higher occupational levels.
Yeah, development, career opportunities, a conducive environment. Let's we are nearing the end of our interview. It's so interesting. I think we can continue with this. I will listen to you for the rest of the day. Let's polish our crystal ball a moment, and let's think about the future. How do you see South Africa women in mining logical deployed in the future?
I believe that as a country, we are quite fortunate that we have progressive legislation and policies. And so these policies, they aim at promoting the inclusion of women and the elimination of any forms of discrimination against them. So an industry that I envision is one that is free of discrimination, one where women will be provided with opportunities to progress to higher occupational levels, more especially in senior management as well as board level. But most importantly, I envision an industry that where meritoriousness will take precedence over one being judged based on their gender, but instead based on what they can contribute to their work and their organization and industry as a whole.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. I think if I can summarize, it's there to stay. It's there to flourish. We need them. You know, the industry need well qualified employees, and women have a big role to play there. Nellie Mashaba, the research officer that we have today here from the Mining Qualifications Authority. What a privilege to have this interview with you. Thank you so much for your time, ma'am, and thanks for your career.
Thank you very much, Professor.